Another day begins. Have another beautiful lesson. Lesson 179. God is but love, and therefore so am I. There is one life, and that I share with God. There is one life, and that I share with God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. Your grace is given me. I claim it now. God is but love, and therefore so am I.
And we can let the Holy Spirit take us inward with these ideas. There is one life that I share with Him. This means that there is a peaceful interpretation of everything. There is an alignment. With God beyond everything. As you come out of the meditation, you can allow yourself to stay in this experience, this openness to these ideas. So stay open as you're actually love. Same as God. God is love. Therefore, so am I. In the mathematics of that, that's the only option. Your grace is given me, I claim it now. That's a good practice for the mind. Whenever you get stressed, that should be your response. Whenever you feel nervous, that can be your go-to. Your grace is given me, I claim it now. When you start to plan out your own life, you can say, no, I have one life that I share with God. That life is given, not planned. And it can even go against the laws of this world. It can even go beyond the laws of this world. In terms of time, and in this world there's an order what should come first and second, but in God's world, time is not really a thing, not a factor. We can actually open our minds so much that we go beyond these laws of time and space. That's how miracles occur. We need that. We can claim that. We can cultivate that mindset, that openness. That's where true healing occurs. The healing of the mind is true healing. The body follows. The healing of the body can even be a bonus in that focus. But not the goal. And Jesus says, you always choose between your own weakness and the strength of God in you. There should be an easy choice, shouldn't it? He says always, every moment, each and every moment, the mind makes a choice between its own weakness or the strength of God. Every moment. So let's become aware of our choice, of our decision, of the direction of our thinking. Let's become so aware of our thoughts. He tells us many times in the course, watch your mind, watch your thoughts. So many times. And it says all the unconscious mind is the unwatched mind. Let's become really good at watching it. And watching the motives in the mind, asking what is it for with everything? Where does it come from? Does it come from right mind or wrong mind? Does it come from spirit or ego? With each thought and each action, so I only want to act from spirit. I only want to act from right-mindedness. And if that's hard, say, I only want to act from the prayer for right-mindedness. That prayer can be an ongoing prayer, an ongoing experience He says in the Bible that we should pray unceasingly. I like that. There be a prayer in your heart unceasingly. I think that's what right-mindedness is. That's what the oneness with God's love is. That's what the grace of God is. To cultivate that willingness, that openness. Yeah. Do we have anything you would want to put on the altar this morning? Anything you'd like to lift up for healing?
Good morning,
Morning.
everyone.
Hi, Francois.
It just has been intense emotions coming up after sending you that messages. I see there's a fear of love, a deep fear of love, and the course is God is love, love is God. There's a deep fear of love that I want to place on the altar. And yesterday when it was for me just an innocent moment of sharing intimacy, but the ego just torn me apart. That's the only way. It's just thoughts of dying, killing myself, throwing myself from my room's window. Just, yeah, I don't know why I would rather die than love.
Do you, after you see that thought?
Drama.
Well, once you see that thought, that belief that you would rather die than love, do you still want to rather die?
No.
Yeah, we don't want you to either.
It's, or rather, let me put it, that I would rather die than feel love. Now it's time for me to no people pleasing, no private thoughts, express. And I spoke yesterday with Andrea, and I expressed the guilt, the enormous guilt I felt because of all that she done for me on that day that I was there. And she was so lovely in her response. and so it was like she couldn't even understand where I was coming from. And I expressed the same time with you, with all the things that you have done for me, and I expressed that with you, with about you. Yeah, that fear of love, I just want to place on the altar. Yeah.
Thanks for patiently waiting for us. You know, we live now in it's tucked in between hills on small mountains. this place, you know, it's like a lush valley, and yeah, the connection it's not so easy. So we're gonna work on getting better internet, maybe even use the Starlink,
Right?
if that works. So yeah, we feel the Holy Spirit will help us to make this work. But yeah, as we heard you, Francois, it's beautiful how you have allowed sharing more openly to release guilt.
Yeah. I just want to conclude that I want to love.
Mhm.
It's really and
That's
see.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
That's
love
the
and
prayer.
yeah. To release
And
the block.
Yeah. To love. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You're good at that. You're good at releasing the blocks. You can become an expert.
I know you're looking for a job, but that's the best job
That's
to
the
have.
real job.
I heard that a few weeks back. The form is not, but yeah, I also want to place this fear of intimacy on the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I should I'll conclude shortly, but yeah, and the thoughts that came through is like, this is inappropriate, sending this to Jenny, especially the photo of you, which brought me always. And then I thought, yeah, she's married to Barret. This is so inappropriate, and I felt like I'm gonna be misunderstood. Obviously, I'm not. There's nothing sexual, and I'm as gay as a pink flamingo. So
I didn't know they were gay.
So it was, it was just, it felt so innocent, and then the matter of seconds, it was turned into how. But yeah,
that's beautiful. No, it was just sweet to receive that message from you, and married to Barret. Yeah, I am. It looks that way, but the expressions still need to come out. These are just limits that the ego has put, like, I can't because they are together, or the expressions need to be allowed. Otherwise they become private thoughts and fearful. Yeah. So you're brave. It's good. Keep going. Yeah.
It's just especially around intimacy. Seeing that first message I sent you about wanting to see the prayer of my heart, wanting to see you as Christ.
Yeah.
All of it, that fear of, that's all for the day. That's all she wrote. Thank you.
Yeah, keep on sharing. Keep on expressing what you want to express.
Yeah.
We love you. Send you a big hug.
Thank you so much for all that you have done for me and still doing. And everyone, I love you all.
Okay, do we have somebody else? Maybe you're not sure. Yeah.
I
Hi.
don't, I don't have like anything special to express right now, but I'm just so happy to see you all after a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, we love you so much.
Yeah. So much love.
Yeah. Well, actually, just before this online session, like I was kind of suffering from my judgment that like yesterday, yeah, for the last couple of years, Spirit has been taking care a lot about everything. And so luckily, I don't need to work for the money to live. But for the last 6 months, Spirit gave me money to live by the investment, and basically I don't need to study for that or like work for that. But yesterday I had to do something with my friend, and from that communication I was feeling, well, I felt like suddenly pulled back to the real, to this like dream world. And I was kind of, how can I say? Again, a big guilt came to me, and just before this session, I was feeling like I was judged by her, and I was judging myself too. And yeah, I was forgiving it by myself lying on the sofa. But suddenly I remember this session, and then I joined, and I saw your face, and I felt so much love, so much, like I really like this still kindness of this real love. And I'm feeling I'm so much healed by you and by this online session. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. And just as you share, your friend Julie comes on too. Yeah, we send you a big hug. You're not guilty. You're worthy. You're worthy to stay in the peace and the joy. Yeah. And it's good. It's good that those pockets come up, pockets of guilt, pockets of unworthiness. Yeah. I'm glad you joined in the session.
Thank you so much.
Nothing to fear. Anybody else? Muna.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have something to put on the altar after this really beautiful experience we have this morning. And I really get in touch with love and how I really have to abandon the idea that I'm a body to feel the love. And in some ways, it's very easy sometimes it's very easy for me. And then it's like this active joining increases the love. And I could stay in that until Holy Spirit says, share something, or I imagine I'm going to have to speak to someone. It's this speaking again. I spoke about it so many times, but it's like when I need to say something, it's as if I have to come as the body again. And I don't know what that is, but I think this belief still in me that a betrayal of God is get like I disobeyed God's laws by being in this world as a body and all of it. It's like taking responsibility for it. It's still there, unhealed, and that's what I want to put on the altar. It's as if it's my guilt still, and that if I spoke, it's going to be exposed. It's, people are going to see that, and then intense fear comes in. The stranger comes in and becomes me all over again. So that's what I want to put on the altar, that I betrayed God, that I disobeyed God's laws for real, for sure. Like it's my guilt, it's my responsibility, and it feels so heavy and I really don't want it. But I think because I haven't exposed it fully, I haven't shared it, it's still my private thought, it's still my guilt, it's still my fear. And
yeah, and you can actually only share it with the Holy Spirit in it's such a, in the moment, it's about the desire in the mind, so to expose that guilt of betrayal of God. Because yes, there is guilt. All the body is about is guilt. That's why this path is all about learning true identity. So I'd say for 2 years, I was called not to speak because I also had that, or the voice was used by the ego persona, and I actually had nothing to say. I realized I had nothing to say. So I went for a couple of years without speak, and I had to stop myself because many times the ego's impulse to speak came in, and immediately I felt bad. I felt like I couldn't actually use words for healing or in a guided way. But I think that's what this mind training and this healing, this awakening is all about. To reconnect with the stream of Christ consciousness, to reconnect and let only that be our language, let only that be our way. Like in a recent lesson, or maybe it was the review, we read, you are my feet, my hands, my voice in this world. Jesus said, So that is the proper use of speaking, because otherwise, there will be guilt. So thanks for raising this question. And with the ego, even language and speaking can be used for control. And I think it's something we can become more and more aware of, how speaking, using time and speaking for control, because there is so much fear, that can be, it can be something the ego is using as a defense because of the fear of healing, fear of presence, fear of stillness. Not just for you, but everybody. And for some, there is more of that defense, speaking defense.
yeah, I think that rings a bell. Like I can be in the love, but it's like when I speak in the world. Well, there's two separate things. When I speak in the world, like with people who aren't in this training, the thought comes, oh, what do I say? And then the fear comes like, like just drops in, and then I can't hear Holy Spirit speaking through me or allow. Sometimes I can, if I'm relaxed, like with my children, if I'm relaxed, I say, Spirit of joy. I have no idea what to say. Just speak through me. Let this be really joyous. And it happens spontaneously. I think I'm noticing right now, it's like when there's an investment in something else, I can't do that. It's like, the fear, and then fear comes in, and then I want to control, to hide the fear, and it just becomes impossible. Can even feel like the heaviness in my limbs, like I can't do that. I can't let Holy Spirit speak through me all the time, especially when I'm not relaxed. I'm only relaxed with my children at home, so it's a work in progress. But yeah, it's fear and then control, and then it becomes very messy in the mind, and I just muddle through, and it's not a nice experience.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things early on for me, was this realization that I cannot do anything without God, including speaking. And that was daunting, because until that time, pretty much 100% the ego had used speaking. The ego had used my voice, not 100%, but a lot was, and then I received the message that you can't accomplish anything unless you do it with God. So I realized, oh my God, everything I say, every single thing I say has to be guided. And that was shocking. That was scary,
Yeah.
And that's when I got quiet for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And became really prayerful about, because it's a training. We learn to follow guidance. So I every thought, every impulse I had, I needed to give over, see if it was, coming from a helpful place or from the ego. And most of the time it came from the ego. So that's when I decided to be quiet and just look at it in my mind. But then I learned, to feel when it was truly inspired, and then speak from that place. But it is shocking and daunting when you feel, and you feel the guilt, like you said. You can be in this high, beautiful place, and then you want to say something and you feel guilty. That is the identification with Muna, with the body, with the persona. So it's good that you're in touch with that, because then you can release it. You can invite the Holy Spirit to see it with you.
I think I'm getting in touch with this intense fear of being exposed as a God lover. I know it's ridiculous, but like in the world, if people find out I'm a God lover, they're going to think I'm a freak or something. It's huge fear, massive fear.
I think that's awesome.
Sorry?
I think that sounds awesome. You
Yes.
can have a sign on you. I am a God lover.
It's a good fear to have. It's like a rich man's problem. But I said to a friend yesterday, don't be afraid of fear. And I need to apply that to myself. It's a ridiculous fear to have, but I've had it for so long, and I'm breaking through it bit by bit, putting God in the word God in my posts, which I was reluctant to do for a long time. The ego is ridiculous, but here we are.
It could be a really good thing to try, Muna. It's like to make a sign hanging around your neck. I'm a God lover. And then go to the grocery store and just wear it out in the world.
You may receive even better connections.
And it's as always, the fear, it occurs like I'm afraid that people will find out, but I'm afraid of coming out, like totally coming out. Yeah.
I love it, Mona. I could see you say that to people. I'm a God lover. I'm not going to listen to anything that is not real. And I'm, you know, you can really, it can be your miracle worker, you know,
Yes.
mantle to wear.
Yeah, the irony of it is like the ego is so convoluted. It says, if people know you're a God lover, no one's going to talk to you. But I'm not talking to anyone at all because of the fear. It's like this mesmerism, this immobilization in my mind. And I haven't moved from this place for such a long time, but it's lovely to see that that's what it is at the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the God lover can come through and everything, also without saying it, but the vibe comes through, the experience, the joy, you know, it's unmistakable when it's
Yeah.
from God's. Yeah.
It's so great. It really feels like coming out just now. It's like I'm coming out.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that sign.
Okay. Yeah.
Ash Rise is a celebration thing, pumping, coming up.
Okay, anyone else? Something to bring forward?
Peter?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling?
I was feeling a lot of fear of, feeling a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. A lot of unworthiness.
When did this start, this feeling?
I think it particularly, it's ongoing, but it particularly came up early evening, I think it was, and I was so tired. I'd fallen asleep, and I woke, and I could go into a very sort of deep, dark place, and very tired, and then Solveig was playing I think it was the Sunday joining, and then I heard myself. Yeah.
When you're gonna subtitle?
Yeah. But it was pretty excruciating to hear. I wasn't in the same room, but I didn't see myself, but I just
It's good too. It's good that comes up. That same.
Yeah, and then it came up. I don't know, it was on Facebook, and just it felt like extending love, and I've been feeling that more and more, and just by acknowledging others' posts. And I just thought, just have to, I'm living in the shadows. I just had such a longing to be authentic and spontaneous, and
You have the desire to not be in the shadows, not live in the shadows. And you're starting to extend. It's beautiful. That you're worthy of that. And yeah, I think in that prayer, in those steps, the shame comes up, the shame of the persona, shame and guilt of the self-concept. But you can just look at that. You just allow that to be seen. And you are so worthy. You're so beautiful. And whatever you see and think about yourself, I don't. You know, this is just, it is a ghost. It is something that isn't real. This shameful, shadowy part, you know, it's not real. It's not you. And others don't see it. And I think you're just going through this passage of, yeah, of getting through that. Because you are a miracle worker and you need to allow that.
Yeah, thank you for. And then I get a bit manic, and then sort of feelings come up, and I get really tired, and Lulu's trying to grab my glasses.
Well, what weight do you have to pull? I don't think there is such a concept that you need to keep in your mind. And all real pleasure comes from doing God's will. You know, so it's to come into this, okay, what is God's will? How can I extend? How can I allow that? How can I allow God's will? And what is that, you know? And then just be open.
Yeah, thank you. I feel I finished. I just need to just look at everybody for a moment, if that's okay. Just need to. Because I can feel myself just this almost awful, shameful, humiliated place, really. And somewhere I know this is the only place I can share this. That I'm not what I think. Yeah, thank you.
We love you just the way you are.
If anyone else has something.
Yeah, I'd like to get found. I don't want to spend.
Which one?
I was late because I've been up since 5:30, but I fell asleep again around 7, and then felt like I was late coming to the meeting. But then I did feel really peaceful in the meditation, talking about grace, and then just been agitated. Found myself being agitated throughout the meeting, distracted, and yeah, I just noticed them picking my nails and picking.
And seeing what that is. What is the belief there?
I don't think it's anything specific. It just feels like habit. It's just, and yet I've had a few days where I've kind of woke up with fear in the morning and thought, absolutely not. I'm not allowing this to take hold. You know, so, but that's when it's quite acute fear. Mm-hmm. And then I do, you know, seek Jesus and seek spirit and have lovely days. I'm reminding myself all throughout the day, like I don't want to do anything without non-spirit first. But then I go into this place where it's just kind of a mild, like the fear's buried, and it's just a mild sort of irritation where I think I can get away with it, and it lack as well. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking when this meeting's finished, I'm going to go down and have some cereal and get some toast, and then I'll call on Jesus after I've done what I want.
It's good to see. Yeah, I'm thinking of what I said earlier, you know, the unconscious mind is the unwatched mind. So yeah, the habit of feeling anxious or like a low-level frustration, biting your nails, feeling uneasy. I think it is habit. I think it is the unwatched mind. So just to have that little willingness to watch the mind, you know, that's really it. So all you need, that decision.
Yeah, I think I'm reading Eckhart, and he is talking about the present moment and the 3 obstacles. And it says you're either using the present moment as a means to an end, or you're using it as an obstacle, or in worst case scenarios, a complete threat. And just seeing how that's how I spend my life. You know, I'm noticing that I'm using one of those 3 things pretty much, not all the time, but a lot. And that, even just thinking about that, can sometimes bring fear. Like, oh my God, I'm not choosing right. So yeah, I just wanted to say a little bit and just connect and show my willingness to get right-minded.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I feel a prayer. Okay, everyone, this has been lovely. Thanks for joining in today. We'll see you soon. I felt the prompt now a couple of times and I missed it last time, but we do appreciate donations for the meetings whenever it works. It helps us to carry on. We're actually in the process of purchasing this property we have been guided to. So yeah, donations are welcome, prayers are welcome. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Lots of love.
Love you. Have a great day and night and evening, wherever you are.
An afternoon.
Wonderful.